Hi, I'm Don. Welcome to my studio.
Mats and tools are all sponsored by the following brands. Today we're painting the head of the Stormcast Eternals, Lord Commander Bastian Carthalos. Wow, that was long. Anyways, the painting of the gold NMM is on top and at the description below. A fair warning guys, this video is potentially boring because we only painted the head and the face and turned this model into Lebron James. I'm a huge Lebron James fan, so no hate comments on Lebron because I'll hide you from my channel. This is the very first time I'm painting dark skin of a miniature, so bear with me as I try to look like I'm an expert, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So we chose ordinary model colors because I usually use my Nocturna sets for painting skin, but I want the video to be more relatable. Now of course we thin with thinner medium and our watered down retarder medium, which is our highlight sauce. I'm using my red grass wet palette today because I miss my wet palette. I've been using the glass palette for so many weeks now. I'm using my red grass Kolinsky brushes and a number 0 Winsor & Newton brush. Oh, by the way, I did not thin with glaze medium for a change because I want this to be super basic. Also, I'm thinking it might not be that noticeable because the mini head is so small. Also, we chose colors that are very near each other in terms of hue, so we don't really need to mix too much and we'll come up with nice transitions just with the thinner medium. It's a good practice to use a photo as reference when you're painting a face because you'll see where the highlights should be, but I decided not to use a reference because again I'm a big fan of Lebron James, so I kinda know where the highlights of Lebron should be. So kidding aside, I just like the challenge of painting a face or painting a miniature without references. It kind of makes me imagine a bit more because it's kind of boring to paint without imagining things, at least for me. But again, it's a good practice to have references when you're painting. Now we move on. After a couple of thin coats a la Duncan Roads, we move on to our base color, which is mahogany brown. So now it's just basic layering at this point. Again, we're not using glaze medium, we're just thinning with thinner medium. So it's just basic layering. You could use water if you like, if you're a water acrylic painter, but I do prefer my mediums. So we're just painting a smaller area with mahogany brown on top of the burnt umber. So it's just basic layering. You paint smaller areas as the paints or the colors get lighter. Painting faces is actually easy. You don't really need a reference, but again, as I've said, it's a good practice to have a reference. But basically, the highlights will be on the forehead, the cheekbones, nose, and the lips, and a bit of highlights on the chin. But he has a beard, so Lebron James doesn't have highlights on the chin. The most intense highlights would be on the forehead and the cheekbones and the nose, and just a little bit on the lips, although the lips are shiny and wet most of the time, so they have nice glossy look to them or a shiny look to them, and a little bit on the chin. Now we paint with red leather. I think this is the perfect pre-highlight color for dark skin. It's important to note that we're not doing glazes or glaring because we're just sketching where the highlights should be and we're just creating volume, making sure that we come up with nice volume by layering all these colors. This is another reason why I like my mediums, because the mediums, if you add them, even if you use glaze medium, if you add them to paints, they won't get too watery and runny, and thus you're painting with ordinary paints with milk consistency. painting with milk consistency is so familiar because most of our paints is milk consistency. So using mediums is very familiar, and I really recommend them for beginners. Now we are painting highlights, and we're using Old Rose. This is where our highlight sauce comes in because it won't dry out or dry up our brush while we're painting the highlights. Our highlight sauce is basically just watered down retarder medium because retarder medium is so creamy, it has the same consistency as model colors. So I watered it down so that when I mix the highlight sauce, we kind of thin the paints already. I'm a huge fan of inks, and normally I would use sepia ink here, but I'm giving washes a chance because they're also good, especially if you want subtle like glazing, and we're using the sepia shade here to blend all of our colors. Also, I needed to tone down our highlights because it was too stark and it was sticking out like a sore thumb. So this filtering is important in a way so that we have a nice blended and smooth Lebron James skin. Oh, by the way, lazy wash is just my fond way of naming filtering. So now we paint the glowing eyes and the beard. I chose blue-green instead of turquoise because I want it to be really bright, and I just want to use blue-green. Blue-green is as saturated as light turquoise. I have light turquoise and I have turquoise, but blue-green is like the lightest of them all, but it has very nice saturation. If we're painting a bigger element, like for example bigger eyes for a bigger miniature, I highly recommend you paint it with turquoise first, and then you create glow by painting blue-green or light turquoise and then white. I think Sergio Calvo just posted a video. I'll put the link in the description below where he used blue-green for the glowing eyes. And of course, his work is way better than mine. Now we use London Grey to paint like textures on the beard. You could use lighter grays if you like, or even darker grays like German Grey or Basalt Grey is perfect because Basalt Grey is like in the middle of German Grey and London Grey. Basalt Grey should have been named Belgium Grey or something because the color is right in the middle of London Grey and German Grey. I'm liking the black beard because he's looking more like Lebron James now. Now we paint blue flow around the eyes. I did not thin the flow paint. I just added a bit of highlight sauce, and then I painted it around the eyes. You could actually paint it all over the eyes, and then you have to repaint the glossy white in the middle if you decide to paint the flow color all over the eyes. Keeping the middle of the eyes gloss white is crucial for that glowing effect. That's it, pancit. I hope you like the video, and I hope that you appreciate that I use ordinary model colors so that the video is more relatable. Also, do give the video a thumbs up if you're okay with the quality of the video, because this is my first time to really zoom in the painting of a miniature, so I'm not really sure of the quality of the video. I'm kinda happy, especially with the sepia shade or sepia wash. It kinda blended everything together. So other than the quality of the video, I think this was my first time to really focus on like one aspect of painting, like painting the head. So I'm really afraid if this video is so boring, so I need your feedback if you like the video. Next time, we're going to paint the blue cloak and finish up this model. I'm thinking of adding a freehand on the blue cloak because it's too big, and it's been a while since I've done freehand on this channel.
That's it, we're done. I hope you liked the video. Do like, comment, subscribe, and consider joining the channel so that you'll be part of our Discord community. Saludos!